I spoke to Michael Botsyukiev in Odesa. He is the Atlantic Council analyst and former spokesman for the OSCE, the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe. He says there's no water and the electricity in this southern port city after the strikes.
I was just outside on the street. I'm near the city centre. Very, very few people on the streets. There's no electricity, so meaning no traffic lights operational. A lot of generators humming. Internet is out. And I have to say, in the area I am in right now, it's been relatively untouched by the outages. But for the first time, there's no power, there's no internet, and crucially, no water. So I understand from the head of the Odesa military administration, Mr. Marchenko, that some 21 rockets were directed towards Odesa region, and it looks like most of them were shot down. However, as Hugo and others have said in the past, what causes a lot of the damage are falling fragments from those destroyed missiles.
So you said no electricity, no internet, no water. Do you expect those to come back on stream? Because obviously this is an environment where you're under attack. How easy is it for these things to get fixed?
It's hard to say, but two things. It looks like the officials in many Ukrainian cities have proactively switched off power. Apparently that does prevent more damage from happening from the strikes. And the other thing is the Ukrainians have become very, very adept at fixing damaged infrastructure very quickly, whether it's water pipes or heating or electrical substations. So that's the good news here. But, you know, it's sad because I think after days of quiet, of no air raid alarms, that Ukrainians were actually looking forward to the new year and a bit of normalcy, and then these strikes happen. One more quick thing, which is really, really important being here in Odesa. Odesa is the anchor of that Black Sea grain initiative, where so much of the world's grain is exported from Ukraine to world markets under an agreement signed by Ukraine, Russia, the UN, and Turkey. Without electricity, the port, which is very near me, cannot operate. So the Russians must have known that when they sent rockets this way this morning.
As you mentioned, a very strategically important place, and a place that's been under attack and then less so, but obviously now under attack again in a sustained way. What goes on there in the city? Have people left? Have people returned? Is there business operating? What is it like living there?
Sure. Yeah, well, a lot of people have actually returned because it's become very difficult for Ukrainians overseas to sustain themselves. A lot of the benefits are ending. Having said that, yes, a lot of businesses were starting to get up and running. There's a very famous restaurant here near me called Golf, and they've had to reduce their operating days from 24/7 basically to just 3 or 4 days a week. And that's because they don't have electricity. They also can't afford a generator. And I think that kind of story is being repeated across Odesa, across the country. It's very difficult to portray that on TV or in print media, but there is an economic crisis going on because of this. And I'm really worried about a lot of those small and medium-sized businesses that are struggling right now. I've talked to the owners, and they say they can't go on for much longer if these types of interruptions continue.